Devora and so it was kind of a surprise for me, but a nice one. I'm glad to be able to still be in this family, but playing another character.
So this whole series, Mortal Kombat, has been such an epic, gameplay for everybody.
I hear.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about starting it over, and how do you think the fans are going to react to everything?
Well, the fans are going to react how they're going to react, for sure. I mean, certainly there are people that are going to love the changes that we've made. Some people are going to hate some of the changes that we've made. It's just the nature of the beast. We're trying to, tell the best story we can and create the best game that we can, and hope that everybody has fun with it. There's a ton of excitement for the game right now, and we're hoping to build on that as the game is released, and that people's high expectations are met or exceeded, and that they're going to have a lot of fun with it.
And Kelly, are you hoping that once this is released, you're going to have a whole bunch of people cosplaying as you in the future?
That would be awesome, because I don't think I've seen a single person cosplaying Devora.
Oh, there's some really good ones.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'll show it to you. Yeah, you haven't seen them. They're
Can't
great.
wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question would be, when you're writing out the story for a new chapter like this, how do you balance all of these characters from the beginning up to all these new ones, as well as introducing new characters?
Yeah.
It's got to be tough to find exactly the right balance, and how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely hard. I mean you have 24 characters in the game. Not all of them can get the same amount of screen time, and so you're trying to make things pop as much as possible. So what we try to do is not only look at just the experience in the story, but also to the other storytelling that's in the game, whether it's through the intro dialogues that we have, where all the characters are talking to one another, or the ladder endings that are part of our single player experience traditionally, and really trying to sort of expand and build there. We aren't introducing, well, I can't say that. I'm going to stop right there. Yeah. So, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a real challenge because the roster gets decided, not just by myself or by Ed. Ed's polling people in the studio. Who do you want to see come back? Go to the fans. What do they want to see come back? And then it's sort of putting all of it together and making a stew out of it that is.
Do you guys have
good.
a good guy, bad guy scale where you're like, okay, we have this guy who's a bad guy, and then this guy a good guy? You have to.
Oh yeah,
even
they're
them
definitely
out?
ranked. Yeah, they're definitely ranked, and we're writing the story you want to make sure that you're setting up the ladder of fights.
Right.
That the most powerful people are at the end, the biggest heavies are at the end, and sort of making that work.
Anyway, that was my question to him. That doesn't count.
That's a good one. Mine should be pretty simple for you. It was just simply given a choice, carte blanche. Villain as superhero.
Villain, absolutely.
And what is it about them that makes them so much more appealing than the hero?
It's so much more fun to be a bad person. Maybe you just get it out of your system so that you can be a good person in real life. But I just feel like you can just have so much more fun with it. Just be rude and and mean and it's just more fun to play the bullies. If not in real life, because that's not what we want. But I've always liked playing the bad girl more than the good girl.
Thank you.
Bad girls have more fun. Oh, are you in there? Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
For long in the process, so going back to the previous game, did you know that you were going to reboot the series and given the way it ended? How far before that, if you did know you were going to do it, did you guys come up with the idea?
Oh, sure. I mean, we had a pretty strong inkling that it was going to, as we finished up with where MK11 ended, it was going to end up in a reboot territory. The question became okay, how far are we going to push the reboot? How much change did Ed want to see? Because honestly, one of Ed's great geniuses is his ability to balance the novel and the familiar and finding that sweet spot so that fans don't feel left behind, but they also feel excited about what's coming. And so we had a lot of discussions about, is this going to take us as far as, say, the Battlestar Galactica reboot, or is it going to be more like the Kelvin timeline reboot from Star Trek? And so we sort of ended up in this middle ground of, keeping some things familiar, changing some things radically, and hoping for the best that, that the majority of people at the end of the day like what they're seeing and have fun with it.
your favorite part about taking on this new role, and how is it different from the previous?
I think there's a really big difference between Devora and this new character, Li Mei. I get to have more of a normal sort of cadence to my speaking, and there's probably a lot less alteration of my voice.
Oh yeah,
but,
straight Kelly.
Yeah, straight Kelly. But like I said, I don't know anything about these worlds. I've never played the game. I never even saw my character Devora until many years later, when somebody was playing it for me, so I could see what my character was like. Because I have absolutely no clue. So I actually, as an actor, I have to rely really heavily on Dominic to give me direction when we're doing stuff, because he has to tell me the situation, the characters, the relationships to the characters. That's the fun thing about this game, is there really is a great storyline, and there's a lot of relationships and a lot of character development in each one. So it makes it so much more fun and interesting for actors. Thanks.
This for Dominic. How is it going to work this reboot? How much is it inspired really in the first Mortal Kombat, or is it a totally new thing?
I'm sorry, how much is it inspired by the first Mortal Kombat?
Yes.
Oh, I mean, it's very heavily inspired by it, of course, right? We're standing on a foundation of 30 years of existing lore. The fans are, obviously incredibly enamored with the original games. So we want to make sure that we're respecting that, right? But at the same time, from that foundation, we're finding new directions to take characters in, trying to provide, details and levels of immersion with the story that simply wasn't possible when, back in the original games, where you just had like a little bio card, a little ending card. I mean, it is amazing, and it's a testament to the original work that people became so enamored with the Mortal Kombat narrative from just these little chunks of text. I mean, that's incredible, right? And so now now 30 years on, we're really moving beyond that, digging into that, so we can take that and then continue to expand upon it.
But no censorship this time.
I'm sorry?
No censorship this time.
Oh, was it? Yes.
I guess not. I don't know. It's a different world.
And Kerry, well, you already said that you don't really play these games.
I don't. I've never got into any kind of. I do so many voices for so many games, and I'm even doing like mocap for like video games now. Mm-hmm. But I don't get to. It's not that I don't get to. I just don't make the time to actually play them. So I'm always amazed that I get cast in any of them, because I have no idea of what's going on in any of these worlds. And then when I tell my friends, oh yeah, I'm doing this game, but it was under this other name, but then this was the character and this other, and they're like, Mortal Kombat? You did Mortal Kombat? And I was like, yes! But I think it was called like blah blah blah, because they always have to do it under a different name. And sometimes I'll go to like a Comic-Con and some kid will pass me a DVD to sign, and I'd be like, I don't think I'm in that, and he'll have to explain and show it to me on my IMDb that this is the character that I played. Yeah. I'm like, okay, $40, thank you.
The question was going to be if you have any game you like. What's your favorite video game? Not Mortal Kombat.
I play Scrabble a lot. I don't know, does that count?
Sudoku, sure.
Sudoku, I do a lot of that. I like puzzles. Yeah. The other stuff gives me too much anxiety. I'm already kind of a nervous person as it is, and I've tried playing video games, and it's like it's too much. Like I need more calm in my life. More meditation as opposed to crazy spikes of energy. Yeah.
I have a question. How does the history of the finished him, ending
come into your writing and in your story building going forward? Because that does have its own position in pop culture history.
It does. You know, I mean, I've seen so many variants on that, whether it's the Finnish ham meme or whatever. It's amazing. You know, I mean, like that particular. Obviously, you know, we know there's going to be a certain level of violence in the story because it's an MK story. There has to be a certain level of stakes in any of our given stories. So that's part of it. You know, and so just sort of keeping the weight of it. Like, there's always going to be weight behind a Mortal Kombat story, and that's certainly what we're getting at. I mean, you know, when we tell a story with 24 characters in it, you know, we're always doing the Avengers, right? We're never doing one of these, like a smaller, contemplative, you know, single hero story. It's always massive, so it's big. Yeah.
My first question kind of piggybacks off of that. Is there ever a fatality that you and the team thought of that have left out that's like one of your favorites that was on the cutting room floor that you can remember?
Oh, man.
No pun intended, but yeah.
Certainly. You know, with my job, I am actually not involved with fatality development. I see them a lot of the times as fans see them for the first time when they show up on the trailers. Like, oh wow, that's really cool. I mean, I know there are definitely ideas where people are like, oh, actually, if there was a line, it in fact crossed it, and it's been not done, or because there has to be, you know, with a fatality, there has to be a certain amount of camp along with the violence, so that it's just not simply disturbing. And so the team that puts that together really works hard at that. I can't speak to ones that have been left because anything that was left on the floor needs to stay on the floor.
Yeah, fair.
Unfortunately.
My other question is, I know you don't play the games, but in general, I was thinking about what's your all-time favorite matchup between characters now that we've had 30 years of war surrounding it. What would be your all-time favorite matchup?
Oh man, it's hard to say. I mean, there's so many good. I think you kind of have to go with the classic Scorpion versus Sub-Zero. It's so personal. But you know, Sonya versus Kano is big, or even Jax versus Kano is also big. You know, Deborah has become quite the nemesis since she got to off. Her character got to off like major characters. Oh yeah, Mortal Kombat X. Yeah, Deborah kills Melina, and the Melina fans were very, very upset that Deborah killed Melina, and then Deborah killed Scorpion in 11. They're like, what the heck? Why does Deborah get to kill everyone? So.
Here's the thing: I go into the booth and I do all my dialogue, and he has to explain everything to me, and then the game will come out like 2 years later, and I'll forgot that I had even done it. Right, much less like all the dialogue that we had to go through. Yeah.
Can't go over the process.
Dominic, so Mortal Kombat X and 11, you introduced new characters, and then at the end of 11, you kind of reset the timeline.
Right.
Are we going to see those characters at all in any form for Mortal Kombat 1?
Oh, I mean,
if you're able to answer.
Yeah, I can't specifically talk about who still has not yet been announced for the game, obviously. You know, but I mean, I think it's fair to say that, you know, even if a character that was in the previous games does not appear in this one, that doesn't mean they're gone forever, right? I mean, we're just, you know, this Mortal Kombat 1 story and this game is it's the beginning, right? You know,
that's why it's called 1.
Exactly. So it's definitely not the end. So I think people that are fans of characters that have been introduced in the last 3 games, even if they don't show up here, you know, it does not mean that they're finished.
Good answer. Kelly, how much of yourself did you put into the new roles that you have now?
To tell you the truth, I don't even know. I don't remember even doing this. Yeah. I mean, I do so many voiceover games, you know, animation series, films, between all of the on-camera stuff that I do as well, that and anytime I go into the booth, it's always under a pseudonym, and so like I often don't remember like what I'm doing what I've done when I left, and especially 2 years later, like I won't remember anything at all.
Yeah, it's usually at most.
And also, I have menopause brain. Let's just be clear. Yeah. Hello. See, thank you. Somebody who can relate.
Grab you guys actually introduce the photos real quick.
We're done.
All right.
We did our whole
pleasure talking with all of you.
Thank you guys.
Hey.